Yeah, he had a great run, and it's fun to watch. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa. Caitlin Clark play about the same last year, so I was watching a lot of basketball.
In a move that no one saw coming, basketball legend Larry Bird has just been officially announced as the new head coach for the Indiana Fever. Yes, you heard that right. The Hall of Famer and Celtics icon is trading NBA hardwood for the WNBA spotlight, and fans are losing their minds. What sparked this jaw-dropping decision? Is this part of a bigger plan to reshape women's basketball forever? And how are players reacting to Bird's unexpected comeback? Buckle up, because this changes everything in the world of hoops. A legend returns. No one was prepared for what happened next. The double doors swung open without warning, smooth and quiet like any other day. But the moment that followed shook the entire arena to its core. In walked a figure so iconic, so unexpected, that time seemed to freeze. It wasn't a young star or a high-profile agent. It was him, Larry Bird, the hick from French Lick, Larry Bird, Indiana's basketball hero, a living legend whose name echoes in every corner of the sport, a man who had dominated the game as a player, a coach, and a front office mastermind. Now he stood there, calm, composed, and commanding the attention of everyone present, including two of the WNBA's brightest stars who could barely hide their disbelief. Bird's presence sent a jolt through the crowd. Cameras clicked into a frenzy, whispers erupted across the arena, and social media lit up within seconds. For years, Larry had stepped away from the limelight, choosing to focus on his legacy rather than stay in the thick of day-to-day basketball life. He wasn't forgotten. Legends like him never are. But he had become a symbol of the past. Until now, something had shifted, and the world could feel it. The question on everyone's lips was immediate and loud. Is Larry Bird returning to coaching? But this wasn't just about coaching any team. The rumors were wilder, braver. Was Bird about to step into the WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association? Could he really be considering a role that no one, not even the boldest insiders, had imagined? If true, it wouldn't just be a big deal, it would be history in motion. Bird had nothing to prove. His career was already sealed in golden letters. 3 NBA championships as a player, multiple Coach and Executive of the Year honors, and a reputation for turning strategy into an art form. So why now? Why here? That's what made this moment so powerful. Because if Larry Bird was indeed making a comeback, it wasn't for fame or records. It had to be about something deeper, something bigger. The impact of such a move would be massive. The Indiana Fever, already brimming with young talent, could become a lightning rod for attention and change. But this wasn't just about one team. If Bird took the reins of a WNBA franchise, it could send ripples throughout the entire league. It would signal a new era where the walls between the men's and women's games didn't just blur, they broke down completely. His involvement would bring decades of elite basketball knowledge, championship-level mentality, and undeniable leadership to a league that has long fought for its rightful spotlight. It would be a fusion of basketball's rich history and its fast-rising future, a mix of toughness and elegance, of old-school discipline and new-school creativity. Larry Bird coaching in the WNBA? It wouldn't just be a twist in his own legendary story. It would be a turning point in the story of women's basketball, one that challenges the norms, inspires future generations, and redefines what greatness looks like, on both sides of the court. As the legend officially became the head coach, Indiana Fever fans began to jubilate. What are Larry Bird's track records like? Let's find out. Who is Larry Bird? Larry Bird, born on December 7, 1956, in the small town of French Lick, Indiana, is not just a basketball player. He's a legend whose name echoes through the history of the game. Fondly known by fans as Larry Legend and humorously called the Hick from French Lick, Bird's journey from a modest background to the very top of basketball greatness is nothing short of inspirational. From the start, Bird's talent stood out. At Indiana State University, he quickly rose to national fame, especially after an unforgettable showdown with Magic Johnson in the 1979 NCAA championship game, a rivalry that would shape the NBA for years. That game wasn't just a college basketball classic, it was the beginning of something bigger for the sport itself. Later that year, Bird joined the NBA's Boston Celtics, where he would remain for all 13 seasons of his professional playing career between 1979 and 1992. During his time in Boston, Bird became the face of a revived Celtics dynasty. He led the team to 5 NBA Finals appearances and captured 3 championship titles, becoming one of the most dependable and clutch players the game has ever seen. Bird's on-court partnership with fellow Hall of Famers Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish created a front-court trio that was nearly unstoppable. Together, they brought grit, intelligence, and elegance to the game. Bird was a 12-time NBA All-Star and won the league's Most Valuable Player (MVP) award 3 consecutive times from 1984 to 1986, an achievement very few players in history have managed. But Bird's impact extended far beyond personal accolades. He helped change the way basketball was played, especially with his skillful and strategic use of the three-point shot, a weapon that's now central to modern basketball. Bird wasn't the fastest or the strongest on the court, but his sharp mind, fierce competitiveness, and unmatched shooting accuracy gave him a clear edge. He played with a level of confidence and intelligence that could intimidate even the toughest opponents. In 1992, Bird was chosen to be part of the original Dream Team, the first U.S. Olympic basketball squad to feature professional NBA players. That team, which dominated the Barcelona Olympics and won the gold medal, is widely considered the greatest basketball team ever assembled. Bird's legacy was further solidified when he was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame twice, once as an individual player in 1998 and again in 2010 as part of the Dream Team. After retiring as a player, Bird didn't leave basketball behind. Instead, he transitioned into coaching and leadership. He took over as head coach of the Indiana Pacers in 1997 and immediately made an impact. In just his first season, he was named NBA Coach of the Year, and by 2000, he had guided the Pacers to the NBA Finals. Later, as the team's president of basketball operations, he continued to shine, earning the NBA Executive of the Year award in 2012. Bird remained involved with the Pacers in different roles until 2022, and just when fans thought he had stepped away for good, he returned in 2023 as a consultant, once again lending his wisdom and experience to the team he loved. Larry Bird's story isn't just about trophies and records. It's about hard work, vision, and staying true to your roots. From the back roads of French Lick to the biggest arenas in the world, Bird proved that greatness doesn't require flash. It just takes heart, hustle, and a never-quit attitude. What might have convinced Larry Bird to take up the job? Would his old-time experience affect his relevance in the job? Let's take a look at the stars whose brilliance might have convinced Larry Bird to accept the job. When past meets present. If there's anything powerful enough to pull Larry Bird back into the coaching world, it might just be the blazing talent of Caitlin Clark. In 2024, this rookie sensation didn't just make waves. She created a full-on storm in Indiana. Her stats alone were jaw-dropping. An impressive average of 19.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 5.7 assists per game. But numbers barely scratched the surface. Caitlin didn't just play the game, she reignited it. With her in the lineup, the Indiana Fever didn't just win games. They brought energy, hope, and a fresh identity to a team that had been lost in the shadows for years. Before Clark's arrival, the Fever hadn't touched the playoffs since 2016. But suddenly, the drought ended. And it wasn't just about basketball success. It was a cultural shift. The arena buzzed like never before. Home games consistently packed over 17,000 fans, and television ratings soared past the million mark on multiple nights. Clark became a movement. Every time she stepped on the court, there was a feeling that something special could happen. Whether it was a deep three at the buzzer or a no-look assist that left defenders spinning, her presence was pure magic. But perhaps the most captivating storyline isn't just what Clark is doing, it's what she might inspire. Whispers have started to swirl around the possibility of Larry Bird returning to the sidelines, lured by the chance to mold greatness once again. Bird, a legend of both the court and the clipboard, is known for his old-school philosophy, precision, discipline, and mastery of fundamentals. Pair that with Clark's fearless creativity, her flashy passes, her deep shooting range, and her contagious competitiveness, and you have the makings of something extraordinary. Imagine it, the icy calm of Bird's coaching mind joining forces with the fire of Clark's game. It wouldn't just be a mentorship, it would be a merging of eras, the past and the present combining to create a new basketball future. Analysts are already fantasizing. What if Bird takes the reins and builds around Clark's raw brilliance? Could they bring championships back to Indiana? Could they build a dynasty? And it doesn't stop there. The name Sophie Cunningham is now being floated as another key piece in this potential super team. The gritty Phoenix Mercury guard is known for her no-nonsense defense, sharp three-point shooting, and relentless hustle. She plays with a blue-collar tenacity that would fit right into Bird's system. Her ability to switch roles, lock down opponents, and knock down clutch shots could be the perfect complement to Clark's explosive style. Together, they could bring balance, a perfect storm of grit and grace. If Larry Bird were to return and helm a team featuring both Clark and Cunningham, the WNBA might witness something it's never seen before, a team that balances Showtime flair with structured excellence. The Fever could become not just a playoff team, but a true powerhouse. The vision is bold, the talent is real, and the possibility is thrilling. What once felt like a long shot, a coaching comeback for Bird, is now being whispered with genuine excitement, all because one rookie walked in and changed everything. Caitlin Clark didn't just revive a franchise, she may have sparked the return of a legend and set the stage for a WNBA chapter no one saw coming, but everyone will want to watch. Apart from being a basketball icon, does Larry Bird have any coaching experience? Does he have any record at Indiana? Let's find out. Experience with the Indiana Pacers. In 1997, Larry Bird made a bold move by accepting the position of head coach for the Indiana Pacers, despite having no previous coaching experience. Known more for his legendary playing days with the Boston Celtics, many were skeptical about how he would perform from the sidelines. But Bird was clear about one thing: he would only coach for 3 years. What followed surprised almost everyone in the basketball world. In his very first season, 1997-98, Bird transformed the Pacers into a dominant force. The team finished with a remarkable 58-24 record, the best in the franchise's NBA history at the time. Under Bird's leadership, they came within inches of making it to the NBA Finals, pushing the mighty Chicago Bulls, led by Michael Jordan and coach Phil Jackson, to a dramatic 7-game series in the Eastern Conference Finals. That near victory turned heads, and Bird was recognized for his outstanding effort by being named the NBA Coach of the Year. The momentum didn't stop there. Bird led the Pacers to back-to-back Central Division titles in 1999 and 2000. In the 2000 NBA playoffs, they finally made it to the NBA Finals, facing off against the star-studded Los Angeles Lakers, once again coached by Phil Jackson. Though the Pacers lost in 6 games, Bird's ability to bring the team that far was seen as a triumph. True to his word, Bird stepped down after that 3rd season, keeping the promise he made at the start. Isaiah Thomas took over as head coach after Bird's departure. But Bird's connection with the Pacers was far from over. In 2003, he returned to the team, this time as the president of basketball operations. One of his first decisions was to replace Isaiah Thomas with Rick Carlisle as head coach, a move driven by the team's failure to meet expectations under Thomas. Bird soon began reshaping the team to fit the constraints of a small-market franchise, where flashy, high-priced free agents were hard to attract. He made smart draft choices and traded away older players to build a younger, more competitive squad. Bird's efforts bore fruit during the 2011-2012 season, when the Pacers finished with a strong 42-24 record and earned the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. For his strategic vision and leadership, Bird was named NBA Executive of the Year. This honor made him the only person in NBA history to have been awarded MVP, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year, a truly unique achievement. Just before the 2012 NBA Draft, Bird stepped down, citing health concerns as one of the reasons, but he wasn't gone for long. In 2013, he returned to his role with the Pacers. He eventually stepped down again in 2017, transitioning into an advisory position within the organization. He continued in that capacity until mid-2022, when he decided to take a step back from active involvement. However, in June 2023, nearly a year after his quiet exit, the Pacers brought Bird back once more, this time as a consultant. As of 2025, he still holds that position, though he's been notably absent from the public eye. When asked about his disappearance from the spotlight, Bird explained that being behind the scenes spares him the constant pressure and scrutiny that public-facing roles attract. In fact, back in 2016, he candidly admitted, "Sometimes my job really sucks," offering a glimpse into the challenges he faced even off the court. Through it all, Larry Bird's journey with the Pacers reflects a rare blend of loyalty, humility, and brilliance. One that has left a lasting legacy, both on and off the hardwood. Now that Larry is taking up this position, would he be able to cope with the new WNBA identity? Let's find out. The cultural earthquake, Larry Bird's potential return to the basketball scene, this time with the Indiana Fever, carries a weight far greater than just wins, losses, or player strategies. It's not merely about choosing lineups or calling plays from the sidelines. It's about reviving something deeply rooted in Indiana's identity, its basketball soul. For Hoosiers, basketball is more than a game. It's a way of life, a sacred tradition passed from one generation to the next. And if basketball is a religion in Indiana, Larry Bird is its most revered prophet. Born in the tiny town of French Lick, Bird's story is the ultimate hometown fairy tale. From shooting hoops on cracked concrete to becoming a global icon, his rise represents the dream every young Hoosier dares to dream. What made Bird different wasn't just his legendary shot or court vision, it was his grit, his blue-collar determination, and his humility. These qualities are not just admired in Indiana, they define its people. In many ways, Larry Bird is Indiana personified. His track record off the court is just as impressive. As president of basketball operations for the Indiana Pacers from 2003 to 2012, Bird wasn't just managing a team, he was building legacies. He knew how to assemble talent, nurture chemistry, and inspire belief. Under his leadership, the Pacers didn't just play better, they stood for something. Now imagine what that kind of influence could mean for women's basketball, particularly for the Indiana Fever. Bird's involvement with the Fever would not be a simple comeback. It would be a powerful shift in direction for the WNBA. His name alone brings weight, but his presence brings vision, credibility, and structure. In a league where respect is still being fought for, Bird could be the figure who tips the balance. His joining the Fever would send a strong message. Women's basketball isn't just growing, it's thriving, and it's deserving of top-tier leadership. In Indiana, where basketball roots run as deep as cornfields, the timing couldn't be better. With Caitlin Clark already transforming the Fever's visibility and market value, Bird's presence could elevate that momentum even further. Sponsors would be more inclined to invest, young players would want to stay and grow, and top talent would start viewing Indiana not just as a stopover, but as a destination. Together, Clark and Bird could create a new dynasty, one that fuses star power with historical greatness. However, the journey wouldn't be without its hurdles. The WNBA has its own ecosystem, salary caps, roster restrictions, and a gameplay style that's evolving quickly. Bird would need to adjust and learn, no doubt. But he's done that before. He has reinvented himself from player to executive, from legend to mentor. And if he succeeds in this new terrain, his influence could stretch far beyond Indiana. He could help shape the future of women's basketball across the nation. Ultimately, Bird's return to the game, especially in this capacity, would be about much more than basketball. It would be about legacy, about giving back to the game and the state that shaped him. It would be a cultural spark, a reminder that basketball in Indiana still beats with the same passionate heart. And with Larry Bird guiding the way, the Indiana Fever might just become the beating heart of the WNBA. But how is Larry Bird's move likely to affect the Indiana Fever or the WNBA? Are they ready to accommodate him as he might be out to make history that would go beyond basketball? Let's find out. Bigger than basketball. When Larry Bird makes a move, it's never just about basketball. It's about shifting culture, turning heads, and making history. His possible return to the hardwood, this time not as a player, but in a leadership or coaching capacity, could send shockwaves through the sports world and far beyond. The impact wouldn't be limited to the Indiana Fever or even the WNBA. It would ripple through sports, business, pop culture, and society at large. Picture this: a franchise not just built to win games, but built to define an era. Larry Bird doesn't just bring experience, he brings instant credibility. His name carries weight in every corner of the sports world, from arenas to boardrooms. It's the kind of respect that no marketing budget can buy. And when you place Bird alongside Caitlin Clark, a Gen Z superstar with a magnetic following, you create a perfect blend of past greatness and future potential. It's the kind of matchup that doesn't just sell tickets, it sells dreams. If these two icons join forces, the Fever could become more than just a competitive team. They could become a global brand. Imagine jerseys flying off the racks, season tickets selling out within days, and highlight reels flooding social media. Suddenly, sports networks wouldn't be the only ones talking. Lifestyle shows, business programs, even political talk panels would have something to say about what's happening in Indianapolis. Everyone, from die-hard sports fans to casual onlookers, would tune in, curious to see how this story unfolds. And then there's the corporate world. Brands would race to associate with this dynamic duo. From shoe deals to commercials, from press tours to international appearances, the opportunities would be endless. Major companies, sensing the cultural buzz, would jump at the chance to be part of the Fever's rise. This kind of visibility is exactly what the WNBA has needed. A moment that transcends sports and places women's basketball on the main stage. For years, the WNBA has been a league full of heart, talent, and determination. Insiders know the quality of the game is high, and the athletes are elite. But breaking into mainstream culture has always been the challenge. Bird's return could be the moment the league finally captures the attention it deserves. Together, they could bring in new fans, energize old ones, and raise the league's profile like never before. Still, it's not all guaranteed success. Questions remain. Can Bird adjust his coaching or leadership style to connect with today's female athletes? Can he build trust, foster strong bonds, and truly understand what this generation of players needs, especially in a league that's different from the NBA in so many ways? These aren't small hurdles, but neither are they insurmountable. What makes Bird special isn't just what he's done, it's how he leads, how he inspires, and how he adapts. If he can bring those same qualities into this new chapter, the sky's the limit. For Bird, a legacy-defining challenge. For the WNBA, a breakthrough moment that's been years in the making. Ultimately, this story isn't just about one man or one player. It's about legacy. It's about a basketball giant returning not to relive the past, but to help shape the future. Indiana is ready for something big. The WNBA is on the brink, and fans everywhere, across generations, are watching with bated breath, hoping to witness something extraordinary. Do you think Larry Bird's new position would make history in the WNBA? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.